Samui is the quintessential tropical island. Located off Thailand's east coast, Samui welcomes visitors from around the world to its white sand shores to enjoy an idyllic tropical getaway. And at the end of May each year, the island comes together to host the Samui Regatta. Now in its 11th year, the 2012 regatta has become a popular boutique regatta, often referred to as the Tropical Island Regatta. This year, 32 boats and 5 classes and 500 plus sailors from around Asia and beyond came to enjoy some top-class racing and Thai hospitality on Samui Island. Samui Regatta is also the final event in the Asian Yachting Grand Prix Championship. This year, the title went down to the wire.
The regatta started in 2001, so this is the 11th running of the regatta. We started with 11 boats. They started predominantly as beach cats, so beach catamarans running straight off the beach here, just in front of trade winds. And then it slowly grew. People started getting more and more interest from the bigger boats. Boats started coming down from Pattaya, boats started coming around from Phuket, and slowly we gained an international reputation, and then we got more boats from Hong Kong, from Australia. And now I think we've got people from 20 different countries taking part here. We're moving into the next decade of the regatta. We're tending to find now we're going back to our roots of making it an island event, getting a lot more island participation. There's more boats in Samui now, so in the multi-hull class, for instance, I think 80% of the boats are local Samui-based boats. The emphasis here is we managed to do a beach environment. Everything is here on the beach. We have our presentation and parties on the beach. Obviously we've got everything here with Centara, which we class as our home of the regatta. And I mean, without Centara here, I don't think there would be a regatta. This is the focal point. We finished with the last night sit-down dinner here, which again, we were the first regatta to do that in this sort of region. But really getting it back to being a Samui event. And we've had great wind, interesting wind, a lot of changeable conditions, and very, very competitive racing. The classes we've got now, we've got races being run by 1 or 2 seconds, and it's going to be very close right the way up to the last race. Also, we're the last event of the year for the Asian yachting circuit, so it's down to who does best on the last day will probably win the overall championship.
Participants and guests gathered for the opening ceremony and party. Lively affair hosted by Zico's Brazilian Bar and Grill. By the next morning, all attention had turned to the racing. A who's who of big boat racing lined up in the IRC 0 class, including the largest racing boat to compete in Southeast Asian waters, Genuine Risk. The high-tech 90-foot maxi, crewed with 24, towered over the rest of the fleet. Up against a fleet of 52-footers, including 3 TP-52s, Genuine Risk was always going to have a hard time on handicap.
We're flat out winning on handicap, but just not on, because the maxis with candy keels they get burned so far, and you can't make up the difference.
Day 1 saw 2 races for IRC 0, Windward-Leeward and a 26 nautical mile passage race. Australian entry Hooligan took the win on the first race but struggled over distance, placing 3rd, with Hi-Fi scoring 2 second places on the day. On day 2, 3 Windward-Leewards were scheduled by the race officer, and Hooligan scored 2-1-1 to secure an early lead in the standings. With the number of new 40-foot boats coming onto the Asian scene in recent years, 10 lined up and was to become a hotly contested IRC 1 class. EFG Bank Mandrake got off to a quick start with a 1-2 on the first day, followed by a 2-3 on the second day. Foxy Lady 6 recovered from a 2-7 to score 2 firsts on day 2. Having suffered damage in the first race on day 2, KukuKERchu retired and did not take part in the second. Great support from fellow competitors and organisers, new parts were delivered from Phuket to the mainland port, where a speedboat picked them up in the middle of the night and delivered them to Samui. The next morning, KukuKERchu was on the start line as good as new. Moon Blue 2 also suffered damage. Engine trouble on the way down from Hong Kong to Samui meant that they didn't compete on day 1 in IRC Premier. By day 2, however, she was on the start line and scoring 1-2, mixing it up with El Coyote and Dynamite. Six boats took part in the IRC2 bareboat class, a mix of cruising and charter boats. They revelled in the good winds and enjoyed 3 races over the first 2 days. The Thai crew, led by Swede Lennart Fahlgren on Amanda, consistently placed second. The Australians' 2 firsts on the second day for Reef Knot saw them stake their claim early on. Multihulls are seen by many as the ideal boat for Thai waters. Their shallow draft allowing access to the many bays and coves dotted along Thailand's coastline. In recent years, there's been an exponential growth in racing and cruising multihulls in Thailand, particularly trimarans. 8 lined up in Samui, including the highly successful 50-foot self-designed and built Fantasia. Posting 1 and 2-1 on the score sheet after 2 days, they made their intentions clear. Despite some damage on day 1, the 26-foot Sweet Chariot was performing well. The Thai Regatta regular Cedar Swan was snapping at their heels. Centara Grand Beach Resort Samui has been the home of the Samui Regatta since the event's inception in 2002. Set in landscaped gardens and with an expansive beach frontage, the resort provides the ideal base for sailors to depart from and return to each day.
We've been involved, in fact, with the regatta since the very first one in 2001. It was very small in those days. I think there were about 13 yachts involved, and we have continued to be involved, and we're delighted to be involved for all of these years until now. Firstly, we have a wonderful location, got a great beach, one of the widest and best located beach. We've got 167 hectares of gardens and lawns, and we've got also the nightlife and the shopping and the entertainment areas right outside our front door. The hotel itself here, we are the home of the Samui Regatta. I think that's pretty well recognized, and we're the home for the crews and the owners of the yachts and the many spectators that are coming here to Samui. There are 500 sailors, for instance, plus the captains and the owners. Of course, there is sponsorship as well. So it's quite it's becoming a very large event.
The strong and gusting winds were proving a challenge for all. The forecast for day 3 was for more of the same, and even stronger. The forecast turned out to be right, as boats shredded spinnakers left, right and centre. Turbocat and Cedar Swan retired in the multi-hull class, while Free Fire returned from IRC 0 with a broken boom. However, the wind was welcomed by some. Genuine Risk stretched her legs in the passage race to score a second place. Also enjoying the win was Girati Asaku and his Thai crew on Sonic, who performed well to take their first win in the multi-hull series. In IRC 1, Foxy Lady 6 finished first in the windward-leeward, but slipped down the places in the passage race as Walawala 2, KukuKERchu and Jing with their asymmetric kites performed well to keep their hopes in the series alive.
We stayed in one piece and managed to predict everything just ahead of the times. We were lucky we got through the top mark. It was just the other curve as well, just before everything all descended, so the other guys had a much tougher time to get through there.
The lay day allowed some carrying out of repairs, while others took the opportunity to explore what Samui has to offer. Famed for its coconuts, white sand beaches and warm tropical sea, Samui's shores are dotted with luxurious resort getaways.
Samui is going in a way that it becomes a more classy, a more upscale destination in terms of people that come here find unique resorts in unique locations, resorts that all have their uniqueness and are not to find in other areas, I would say, in Thailand or on other islands in Asia. So it becomes very unique, and that it caters to a lot of different guests that still look for a place that has a tropical island feel, where you find hidden gems, where you have off the beaten path experiences, and I think that makes Koh Samui very unique. I think the uniqueness is its location and tranquility. As you know, the regatta takes place in Chaweng, but we're located in Lamai, one of the areas and one of the corners of Lamai Beach, where you find peace, tranquility, a beautiful view, and everything that Samui, Koh Samui as an island has to offer.
One of the top sporting events on the island, the Samui Regatta has become well established as a key promoter of the island, contributing significantly to the local economy.
We're really showing Samui as a high-value destination. Also, it's the beginning of the low season here, so we're bringing a substantial number of people here. We've got 500 people all staying in hotels. We've got media from around the world, and we're really putting Samui on the map.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity for Samui to showcase itself as one of the top resorts in the world and a wonderful place for sailing. There are many beautiful islands offshore, so certainly it gives that opportunity really for people to come here to sail, recreational or indeed competitive sailing.
As the boats left the anchorage on day 4, the winds appeared to have taken leave. The race committee headed north and set a start line between Samui and Penang Islands, and with 8 knots of breeze, the racing was back on. A 2-1 for Hooligans saw them amass an unbeatable lead and secure the IRC 0 series one day early, while 1-2 for Fantasia saw them secure the Multihull title. Going into the final day, all was still to play for in the other classes.
Week's going very well. Actually, we're going into the final day with a 1-point lead, and feeling reasonably confident. It's going to be a hard day tomorrow, but feeling pretty good.
With 2 races scheduled for IRC 1, anything could happen. Foxy Lady 6 placed 5th in the first race, while EFG Bank Mandrake scored 1st to go top of the standings with 1 race to go. A first for KukuKERchu in the final race wrapped up an interesting week for the Australian entry, while the fast improving Walawala 2 finished in 2nd. 4th for EFG Bank Mandrake in the last race was enough for them to win the series by 2 points and their first Samui Regatta title. The 40-footers in IRC 1 lived up to expectations. Evenly matched and close racing, places were traded throughout the week.
It's been a lot of fun. We've had mixed results. We had we've always been in the top 4 and had a good race win on the passage race, and we really enjoyed ourselves. We've been trading seconds here and there with the other boats, so it's really been a fun week.
In IRC Premier, Moonblue 2 and El Coyote finished tied on points, equal placings. Having won the final race of the series, Moonblue 2 were declared the overall winner on countback. Heading into the final day, only 2 points separated the top 3 in IRC 2 bareboat. Tight racing and a second place in the final race by Reef Knot was enough to secure the class win by a single point. Despite losing out to EFG Bank Mandrake, Foxy Lady 6 had nothing but praise for the regatta.
I think Samui Regatta is a fantastic regatta. We've done, I think this is our 9th time competing here. Off the beach in Paradise, mostly a light air regatta, but this time around it's been more medium breeze, and I think it's one of the best regattas in Asia, always have.
"2012 threw a mixed bag of conditions at the sailors, and by the end of the week, no one could complain about any lack of wind. Underscoring its popularity on the Asian circuit and delivering the goods in excess this year, sailors were unanimous in their praise for the 2012 Samui Regatta.
I brought a 52-footer this time, and it's been terrific wind all week so far. 4, 5, 6 days, every day, even the ones before. Very good. I've had that boat for a number of years, and this is the first time we really came away to use it. And it's getting better and better. When you come to the place, a venue like Koh Samui, you really want to enjoy it. And I have to say, the race committee, the race officer, Simon James, Ross Chisholm, and the jury, they've done a terrific job this week. We'll be back next year.
Wonderful sailing every day, thoroughly enjoying it, good winds, so fantastic.
This has always been my favourite regatta actually. I've done top of the Gulf and this one, King's Cup, done them all about 4 times, but I really like coming here. It's Samui's a great spot.
No regatta in Thailand is complete without a lively onshore social program, and Samui Regatta was no different, hosting a series of beachside and exclusive parties throughout the week. After a hard week of fun in the sun, all that was left was for sailors and guests to enjoy the final prize giving and gala dinner, hosted by Centara Grand Beach Resort, Samui.